Hello everyone, welcome to Cookie's True Crime Adventures. Thought I'd make a video. I've not made one for well over a week. Like is now where my heat is, what's going on from my heat. You know, there's been a lot of stuff on YouTube. Paddy's been making some wild accusations again. What can I say? It's crazy. I could start doing defamation complaints and stuff like that. You know, I think it's going to start heading that way if it carries on the way it's going on. Because, it is what it is. But, well, we'll see. Well, I've got a co-host this week. Well, on this video, help us out. Because I'm talking about a sensitive subject. And it's HMP Grendon. As it's been mentioned, you have heard this about this prison quite a few times now, I imagine. So I thought I'd explain a little bit about Grendon and why people gone there, you know. I mean, you're talking a lot of people who gone there have got serious violent offending behaviour problems, right? And they go there to sort them out. You know, I would say about 60% of the people who go to Grendon who have all got release dates. You know, they're fixed termers. You know, they've maybe shot someone, they've maybe a whole range of violent crimes apart from murder, right? So that's, you know, that's a category of prisoner. 60% of the prisoners in Grendon are, right? And then you've got the lifers, with 40% of lifers who have, you know, some of them are on the stage where they've got nowhere else to go to address their offending behaviour. They're not going to get out of jail. They're in a situation where they're looking at natural life in prison. You know, and Grendon's their last hope. You know, if you're sick to death of all the torment in your head with all the criminal stuff and your life's just totally wrecked and you're sitting in prison, right, and you're thinking, you're doing a big sentence and you're thinking, how do I stop this from happening again in my life? How can I get out of prison and have no more coming back to prison for years at a time? How can I stop that vicious circle of crime? You know, Grendon's the place. That's why people go there, to do that. You know, so someone like the man in the shed would seriously struggle in a place like Grendon because, right, he wouldn't be able to control the therapeutic element of the community, right, which helps you deal with your criminal values. Now, people have been talking about that. When you go to Grendon, they encourage you to inform on each other. No, it's not like that. They encourage you to own your behaviour. That's what they do. You can talk. The thing about Grendon, what I liked about Grendon the most, right, is you could talk about your offending behaviour without actually talking about the crimes you committed. Great way of doing it. You get to own all your behaviours and look at what's been going wrong. You know? One of the things has been mentioned, right? Being grouped, getting grouped, dealing with conflict, that's how we deal with conflict in Grendon. We group each other, right? There's no shame in doing it. You know, you can end up in a violent confrontation, right? And if it's one-sided, you know, you've got a tool there where you can group someone and hold them accountable for the abuse they've hailed at you or the threats, whatever it may be, right? You've got a way of dealing with it other than getting confrontational in a violent way or verbally abusing someone back. It teaches us how to talk about our problems, talk about our conflicts, not verbally abuse that person back, not want to batter him and use violence and start fantasising about committing violence on that person. That's the sort of challenging that you get done at Grendon. The challenging that if violent offenders need real help that I got.
Can I just ask a question on
Yes,
the
Cheryl.
vaping thing? Am I correct in the way you're saying this? So if there's a violent altercation in one of the landings, if it's towards you, you've got the power to hold them responsible in front of a group and talk rationally about why we're behaving badly and things like that,
Aye.
rather than just
Yes.
lashing out at each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also we come to through that you get that resolve in the conflict between each other. Now you start when you first go into a therapeutic community like Grendon, you know, and you're getting challenged. You got a whole load of feelings going on, so you're going to be prone to outbursts. You're going to be prone to your old behaviours coming out in you. You could threaten people, all sorts of stuff going on there, you know. And that's what Grendon does. It helps you deal with that, you know. The man in the shed, oh, the grass, and he's just attacking anything. Whenever the man the only thing positive that the man in the shed, right, has had to say, right, is the word Grendon, HMP Grendon. That's it. That's it. Just him saying that. Everything else, he's attacking what Grendon stands for, which is good, the only bit real true rehabilitation that exists in the UK prison system. So there we go, man on the shed. That's just a little bit about what Grendon's all about.
Can I ask another
One
question?
moment, Cheryl, because this is gonna, my battery's gone down, so I'll have to go on, ask a
I
question,
was just
darling.
going to ask, so do they make people go to Grendon, or do you have to apply to go to Grendon? Can anybody get in? Or
Oh yeah, you can apply to go to Grendon when you're in prison, but you've got to be a certain category of a violent offender, and you've got to be doing a certain amount of time. You've got to be doing over 5 years in prison, I believe. So because you've got to give your time. You've got to give time for you to be there, at least 3 years. So for you to get any like sort of real emotional positive change going on around your offending behaviour. But I would recommend that anybody who's done a long time in prison for violent offences, anybody's family out there, go to Grendon if you want them to come out and not reoffend. A good chance of not reoffending. Because it's what you put into it, it's what you get out of it, especially at Grendon. Right, I'm going to have to end this video, folks. It's great talking to you. Pard, I wish you all the best in what you're doing. So, good luck on that one, mate. Cheerio, folks.